gotta leave it to the professionals.
Blessed by Bundy, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the
Started off with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like LeBron James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. Refuse not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum entities. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I gotta shout out
Started
the
off with a
borders.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Freaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in suits. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, miny, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. Had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So I had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the drive with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
Jim, welcome to Coffee with Captain. I'm Cap. Happy Friday, everyone. Hope you're having a great week. Do us a favor, help to get this thing warmed up. It is going to be a wild Friday on the show here today. Fun Friday, free for all, but markets are ripping. We've got a Coffee with Captain. We've got a Rec Traders Mint. Buckle up and hit that copy button. That's the new alpha. Like, the repost, the bookmark, the subscribes, all that helps. But the biggest boost to help us get warmed up is just go click that little up arrow, copy link, and you don't have to share it. Just copy link, and it does. It's like a 50x on the algo boost. So greatly appreciate that in advance. GM to all the early GMers I see out there. Thomas, Helpful Soul, obviously Teacher Katie, and also Thomas double dipping over in the abstract chat. It is a Good Friday, and we are. Congratulations, happy Friday to all the. I mean, anyone who had exposure. I should have checked it earlier or I should have screenshotted it earlier because the 24-hour percentages on all the coins was like 20% up. It just like flipped over a new 24 hours and now it's like only up 6%. This is Bitcoin I'm talking about here, but also for the happy EPL kickoff day for all those who celebrate. Will be for the first time in my entire life. I am looking forward to day one of EPL season as much as I do day one of NFL season, and that's exciting for me. I've got a few more best ball drafts we'll be doing. We have a It's Called Football show at 10:30 today. We'll be previewing week 1, the first weekend in EPL land, and excited to break that down again. That's at 10:30 Eastern, right after this show, or depending on how long we go, maybe a little break, long enough for a bathroom break at least before we get started. But yeah, if you're curious about week 1 of EPL or still looking for some training camp news and getting ready for your NFL fantasy league drafts, tune in again to It's Called Football. We're breaking down half the show's EPL, half the show is NFL, and having a lot of fun with that. Debating where to kick things off here, cold open wise. We do have a coffee with Captain too, by the way, today. So if you don't have your BZ account set up, click that. Click the QR code. Jesus, 1,231 shows. Still not going to be a perfect show. One of these days we might run pure for a full 120 minutes, but it's not going to be today. That's okay. We are forgiven because there's God candles everywhere, and it's easy to not be mad at me when the show is less than perfect. I think we hit a Hyperliquid all-time high. Someone might have to check this, but I think 73.95 is an all-time high here this morning. Bitcoin, as I mentioned, up 7% on the day. $76,000 Bitcoin pulled back just a tad this morning. ETH up to 2370, also just slightly pulled back, but on an absolute ripper. XRP up 13%, so brace yourselves. The XRP army will be out and about. They'll be really loud today. I have not checked in with my mom after her. I think all of her bags are up big, actually, in her Coinbase account. I'm going to start shilling Robinhood ref links to my family members here soon, and see if I can I can lead a Robinhood vampire on Coinbase. But GMs, I am. You know what? I am going to get this out of the way. I'm going to say something. I probably shouldn't say it, but I don't care. I do care. This is why I'm going to say something. I'm going to be vague. I apologize. I'm not going to share where. Choosing my words carefully. Yeah, Spicy Cap's kind of loading. It is like the beach ball underwater that was Bitcoin and ETH, apparently, that just exploded. I also I saw someone else say this too, so I'm kind of parroting another take I saw on the timeline without giving credit. I think this is maybe more than just bull cycle kicking off, maybe more than just organic pump. This is next level. This to me, especially knowing what we know about this administration and some of the things that have been said recently, like I'm not a political person. I think both parties are not great people, and I think that most of them have self-interest in mind. That said, the current administration has done what they said they're going to do in most cases. And there's been comments recently like, we're going to buy a bunch of Bitcoin. And I know this was talked about a while back, and strategic Bitcoin reserve and all that. People kind of forgot about it. We had this coming out from the SEC recently, and then there was this crypto summit. This pump to me feels like there's like some intense FOMO, some people loading their bags because they know something's about to come. And maybe wrong. Maybe it is just purely an organic. The bull is here finally, and things are ripping. But I don't know. I don't know if we see anything today, but I wouldn't. Maybe today. I would not be surprised if next week we see something major come out, whether it's some sort of new regulation, some sort of new, like the government said, oh, we're actually going to buy X amount of Bitcoin. I don't know, maybe not, but I saw a take like that on the timeline. It's like, yeah, there could be something there that this, because if that were to take place, like it wouldn't surprise me if there was quote unquote insiders that front ran that announcement and loaded their bags, and insiders in this case are extremely high net worth individuals and institutions that, anyways, I'm not trying to make things, I'm not trying to, I respect the pump. I'm not trying to put a damper on it. I'm just saying that I share that because things could get even sillier faster than some might be expecting. Also, you want to talk about a God candle. It's not just the numbers. It's not just the tokens. I don't know. I'm pretty sure actually that I've never seen a candle rip this high, this fast in the 5.5 years I've been, dialed into this space. maybe the greatest of all time. And what I'm referring to is the God candle on the Fear and Greed chart. This week, not this month, not last month, this week, 5 days ago, Fear and Greed was sitting at 36. I think the last time I referenced the chart, it might have been 39. 5 days ago, it was sitting at 36. It is 2x'd. We went from fear to greed in less than a week. I don't know how that happens. I don't know how this chart is made, but pretty bonkers. Pretty bonkers. 36 to 72 in a week. While you can see the gray, there's supposed to be 3 lines. What is the, this one is, it must be Bitcoin price or volume. I guess that's volume. Just absolutely bonkers. Feels accurate. I don't think it's maybe a set of liquidate longs. I don't know. I think Jane Street now is sidelined, and where we were seeing like the liquidation game. I don't know if they're still playing the liquidation game anymore. Yeah, Bitcoin going from 60 to 80 in 2 days, that'll do it. Yeah, but like, I guess it's almost more surprising to me that Fear and Greed doubled than Bitcoin going from 6 to 80. It's just like that. A switch flipped. The Bears got liquidated, and those left in the game are the delusional optimists like myself. I'm still debating. I'm not going to go spicy. I will just say, very disappointed with, like, we spoke yesterday. We're not going to go back and re-litigate everything we talked about as it relates to a particular meme coin that was launched on the Safe Launcher, albeit launched very poorly, extremely poor execution. And did some more digging afterwards, got a chance to kind of reflect. We got to hear from All City yesterday. And while I do appreciate him, facing the music, like, I don't know if we really got any great answers. I didn't leave that like, oh, they're doing some really cool stuff. And yeah, just really, really poor execution. It's disappointing. It doesn't diminish what stockbrokers are doing. It doesn't, like, are there some people that are like, felt it was a bad signal that a meme coin launched and it didn't rip right up right away? Fair, but it's independent third party that is a poor operator, at least when it comes to launching tokens. Like, if they were going to do what they did, they should have just waited until the actual DGen launchpad goes live, which is today, and they could have messed with the settings then. But doing it in the way they did, reducing the sniping fee, yeah, I said it yesterday to All City. I'll say it again here. Like, if I'm not sure, like, they claimed they reduced the fee, the tax from 99% to 33% because they wanted the trenchers to do better and have a chance to get in earlier or whatever. I don't know exactly what they said it. And I said it on the show, I was like, I think all you did is you just help the snipers get paid more. Like, you defeated the purpose of the technology, of the solution. And these snipers, they're going to snipe regardless. They're sophisticated actors. They're better than most trenchers. They are trenchers. It's just, you just help them pocket $250,000. And yeah, I shared yesterday, I added just a very, very, very small bag so I could see it in my wallet and kind of track it. I swapped off that bag. I don't want someone to look at my wallet and see that I've got some dust of clock in and think it's something I'm endorsing or supporting. I'm not. I think it was a very, very poor launch. it's disappointing because not that it's a poor launch, it's disappointing that like the kind of maybe didn't ruin, but spoiled a meme that the community was having fun with by tying a really poorly executed token launch with it. And at best it was poorly launched. Anyways, I don't want to go off on a tangent on it. I don't want to deliberate more. I know we did platform All City yesterday. We did talk about it quite a bit. I mentioned that I added a very small bag of dust so I could track it. Well, I did some further looking into it, did some more tracking, and I don't want to be associated with it in any way, shape, or form so much. I probably won't even and not that I was like one that I was spamming clock in on comments and stuff. I know it's a part of the platform. You clock in to help do your job to distribute those marketing rewards as long as you're not in the US. I probably won't even you probably won't see me mention clock in chats. Like it kind of spoiled the meme for me. It doesn't spoil anything Stonkbrokers related for me, but and memes are fine. Like to each their own. I'm not a big trencher. I just think this one was extremely poorly launched, especially when they had support of the community. They had great tech to have a better executed launch, and the failures of a third-party independent team who went against the advice of Simple Farmer and the ecosystem. And then there was, it gave the ecosystem a bad look. Fortunately, I guess so while I feel bad for anyone that got shaken out by that and thought that, this third-party team who really dropped the ball, intentionally or unintentionally, I don't know. I'm not the judge and jury there, but it was like we all can agree it was really poorly executed launch on many fronts. And fortunately, though, what it does create is some opportunities for not only new entrants. Some people got some, I think, crazy deals on WETH bids that hit yesterday because of the nature of the small supply, how the ecosystem works, the activated brokers, listings are super thin, bids are super thin. This ecosystem, as it relates to the NFTs anyways, it is built to rip and it's built to dip. It's built for rips and dips. It's built for dips and rips. And we can say as much as we want, you want to sell rips and buy dips. It's harder than it sounds. And it does, I think, because of the market going to be reacting over some third-party things that the team has little to no control over, I think those are opportunities. I've said it earlier this week. I'll say it again. I think that the whales out there that get really dialed in on math and data and learn and are able to find edge and plus EV plays in ecosystems like this, I think they could. I like it's got me. I'm not doing this, but for the first time ever, it got me thinking. Like, man, because I'm not adding fresh ETH into my DGen bucket. I parlay wins. I rolled fresh win capital in, but I'm not taking fiat or selling stocks and stuff to play in the streets where I chase asymmetrical returns. So for the first time, I thought, like, man, I actually considered selling my ape. And this isn't like, oh, I'm going to rotate my ape into Stonkbroker. Rather, I think there's real opportunities to be made in this market now. I mean, shoot, Jack Butcher minted out collection for $1 and they ran up to $500. You still got to be selective. You can't just throw money at everything because you will lose. But in this Stonkbroker ecosystem in particular, like there's sharp money is making some big plays. While a lot of people, the loud part on the timeline yesterday was fudders, was people taking shots at the ecosystem, saying it's over, it'll never recover. Well, guess what? It already recovered, not only 24 hours later. And not only did the floor recover, and some people made some incredible buys and hit some insane WETH bids, 46 brokers were activated in the last 24 hours. 46. So while I think when we looked at it, yes, like a few sales, like 3 or 4 people accept WETH bids, there's going to be this little mini capitulation. 3 or 4 people accept WETH bids, 3 or 4 people undercut the floor. The floor is down 20% by 3 or 4 people, freaking out. I'm not exaggerating. Like this isn't like I'm saying 3 and it was actually 30. It was, I think, three wheat bids accepted, 3 people undercut the floor, and the next thing you know, you're going to have the Copers and the Futters grave dancing and taking victory laps on the timeline because the floor is down. The more important KPI, the more important metric, in my opinion, is the net activated brokers. And it's a little hard to see. I don't know if I can zoom in anymore or not. That's as good as I can get. So there's a total of 1,811 brokers activated. I don't know the exact 800 some are in the anvil forever, and because of so much tokens already been burned. So if you factor that, that's over 2,600 of the 44 are either permanently locked or soft staked, and so supply is much less than the 4,400 that the supply shows. 46 being activated in a 24-hour time frame is nuts. Now, while I'm not concerned over a floor price dipping or Machiavelli, you're welcome to get in here. I will get your hand in a second. Sorry for not getting there sooner. The activated brokers is a far more important metric, in my opinion, than floor price going up or down 20-30%. If this was negative 46, that would show, there actually is community members capitulating, where the reality is most people that are grave dancing and fudding on the timeline. I'm not calling these people out, but I looked at a few of the people who were very, not only vocal fudding yesterday, but they've made their personality on this app fudding the ecosystem. I did a little digging. Their wallets are public. In every case that I saw, small sample size, but a few individuals that have made their entire personality fudding the ecosystem, they're down bad. They're coping horrendously. And when I say horrendously, it's because, like, it's okay to miss something. These individuals had multiple clutch puppies and NFTs they could have burnt to get a stonk broker. They didn't, for whatever reason. And instead of just like chalking up the L, moving on, being happy for their friends, their ecosystem, a builder they'd supported for years, they went the complete opposite direction and are just choosing to take every opportunity to say it's over, it's going to zero. And so don't get shaken up by there is other stuff happening in Web3, but this is one of the leading things happening in Web3 this cycle. And it's not just the ecosystem. We're seeing a ton of derivatives that some of them are also doing very well. And I think a lot of people are still comparing this ecosystem to PFP IP or IP NFTs. And it's just very different. And it's not just very different in terms of the technology, the infrastructure, the stack, but also how volatile the collection is going to be, how it's going to move. And, I didn't push hard enough at launch. And so I think it's, especially after spending yesterday, I wanted to kind of clear the air that not only am I not endorsing clock in, I think it is disappointing to see, some quote unquote community members. And I'm not saying they did it with intent, but very, very poorly executed launch. And it's not a told you so, but yeah, had they listened and taken the advice, heeded the advice, could have played out differently. Anyways, I digress. We'll let Agent and Machiavelli get in here, and then we'll hit on some of these other topics. It is a popping day in Web3, including we do have little. I can't say the other tagline that has been shared and circulated a little bit in the war room, but we have maybe some cereal to talk about, maybe some 4-inch things to talk about, and more, including Rec Traders. Agent, GM, what brought you up this morning?
GM, Cap, and I'm glad you shared the numbers. I think I was going to touch just a little bit of that. It was just sad to see you touch on this earlier, and yeah, I know people missed out. I've felt that before. I mean, I was like maybe a week off from missing Bored Apes back in 2021. So you definitely, I can understand that, like, or even selling early, like, when Pudgies first went up, I took some profits and I was like kind of chasing that for a little while after a while. So I definitely understand that feeling. What was surprising to me was seeing people that actually made crazy bags, supposedly sold at some peaks, and we're still throwing FUD on the timeline. I mean, one thing that surprises me, and I guess it shouldn't because I've been around since 2021, is just how many people I think were blaming and just running with narratives that had no base behind them, no actual facts. I appreciate you having Drew up here to like actually clarify some of this stuff. I mean, clearly the launch wasn't really how many people wanted to go, including I think Farmer as well, but just seeing like, some people cash some strays. And I even saw like Uncle Mac and a community member. It just got messy yesterday. And I mean, it's in a way, I'm kind of happy because it's like there were some people that I even respected that just showed who their true colors, I guess you could say. But I mean, I think we'll always have our ups and downs. I mean, I think there's been people that have CryptoPunks PFPs, that have had Ape PFPs, that have had different PFPs since I've been here in 2021 that have been bad characters. I don't think that resembles the club. I don't think that resembles the Pudgies. I don't think, I don't think it resembles punks and stuff like that. And just seeing, some people in the community, and especially like other teams, people going after Simple Farmer, saying he's launching too much, not understanding like what he's building out by placing the infrastructure that's needed. I mean, I really have to give a little round of applause and cheers to people like yourself, Cap, and also for people like Simple Farmer for facing the FUD. I mean, he saw him on the timeline just telling people, hey, I'll jump on stream, I'll talk about this. And I do have to give some credit to All City. I mean, I wish maybe some things were done much differently. But I truly don't believe this is over. The space, I mean, if you've been around here for a while, people tend to forget. I mean, we welcome back ruggers all the time. So I don't think this is good. If you were talking like if this is the funeral for Stonkbrokers and stuff like that, if it's all over, I think it's just super early. I mean, the fact that it still has this much mind share, that people were so ready to FUD. I'm not gonna lie, after a night of good rest, it actually got me more bullish in a kind of way, in some weird kind of way. But I'll throw it back to you. Not gonna be the Asian show. I just gotta also tip my hat to those in the community that were kind of standing up for what they believe in.
Yeah, no. Go ahead, Machiavelli.
Cap, I wanted to hop in here. Listen, I got an autopsy on Clock In, and like it really could not have been stopped what happened. See, like, and I'll send it to you, but really what it looked like is 18 wallets right after the 99% went up and the 32 went, put 198K in across 18 wallets. And I think there was like somewhere like almost 220 people who didn't. They pulled out 1.34 million out of those 18 wallets out of like the 4 million that was circulated through. So it was that whoever bought that thing and bought that much at the very beginning bought 74.9% of the supply. Okay. So no matter what, because they put that much money and brought that much of the supply up front, like this was going to happen no matter what. It could not have been stopped.
It could have been stopped, respectfully. It could have been stopped had they not. I mean, there's a lot of things that could have done differently, but simply not messing with the tax, that would have prevented a lot of that.
Oh,
now,
you're right. Absolutely.
They may have still sniped, but they wouldn't have made out with those profits. Those profits, those fees would have instead went to the protocol. Like that's the whole point, is like by making that major change, it like undid what the anti-snipe solutions is supposed to do. So then you see a lot of people like take all the anti-snipe solution doesn't work. Well, it does work. They didn't use it. And they just gifted snipers $1 million because they didn't use the tech properly. It was extremely poorly launched, and it could have done better. It could have been better executed. It is what it is. People move on. Maybe the token recovers. I just in my good conscience,
I bought the top.
Yeah, I'm not trying to FUD it. I just personally I don't want anything to do with it because I think it is it's not the ecosystem. It's not Stonkbrokers. This safe launch isn't even it's not even necessarily the it's not the main product. It's not even necessarily a product. It's just a feature, But all that to be said, I think it will continue. Every activation today, the DGen Stonkpad launches or Launchpad, I think we'll see. I think volatility is almost guaranteed because of the nature of the collection and how it is going to be rip or dip so violently. I think almost every single activation for a while, you're going to see major moves. So if the Launchpad's well received today, floor price could rip. If it's not extremely well received today, the floor price could be down again tomorrow, and then repeat the cycle. If it's down, you're going to have the fudders taking victory laps. If it rips up, you're going to have the holders in the community taking victory laps. It's going to be noisy for a while. All that to be said, the key thing for the ecosystem is volume continues, brokers continue to get activated, and the protocol itself continues to be successful. It's not comparing the floor price to apes and pudgies and doodles and Azuki. It's comparing the revenue in the volume and the transactions to other protocols. And as long as the protocols continues to go, the things continue to remain exciting, forward looking. Shiba King, did you make your 4-inch doodle toy?
No, not yet. I did get yelled at yesterday on his face for not knowing that the toys were coming out, but how am I supposed to know things? I did.
Oh, I lost you. Did anyone? Is it just me, or did we all lose Shiba King?
No, I don't hear him at all.
I can hear him.
Is it really a loss?
We're getting back out here. Machiavelli's got jokes this morning.
No jokes. There's no jokes. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you back. Yep.
Yeah, the internet doesn't reach to the front of my house. But I wanted to say I've known Farmer for a very long time. If there's one person that innovates this space and moves forward, it's him. So whatever went wrong, he'll fix it. Something being new, we're all used to the new NFT project. What's the hardest thing to do? Deliver, and it's constantly what people in the space want. So I think all he was trying to do was deliver. Maybe just rushed it a little bit, but no Doodles toy yet. I came to hang out because we're actually green for once, so we could talk about some of the good things that are happening. Like every single one of our coins should be up, and we should only be like 73% down across the board. But how are you? Good morning, kind sir Cap, and the rest of friends in the room. Oh, go get your Doodles toy. You don't even need a Doodles to get one, but I think you can make anything a toy. But yeah, go have fun with that.
You can. I'm glad people are enjoying it. I'm glad people are getting it. I'm glad people are liking it. I'm not the target market, but I hope it. I think it's cool. I think it's cool tech. I
think it's a cool addition to what we're doing here at Web3. I mean, we see projects do toys and plushies and stuff. I think it's nice that they named it Toy Factory. And it's probably being 3D printed. I mean, I'm not really sure how the quality of that is when I receive it, but for $129, you can doodle anything. That's pretty cool. I think it also will help get out the brand more. People will be like, "What the hell is that?" And be like, "Well, it's an NFT company that lets you doodleify anything in real life or any picture or anything." That's kind of fun. I think some kids might actually enjoy that, especially if it's going to be like a cartoon or something. I think it will help push that type of branding for them. So we've seen what it did for Pudgies. Pretty sure it'll do just as well as Doodles, especially if they capitalize on it. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think it will be. I think we're going to see a lot more of this stuff. I'm very bullish. I'm very long 3D printing. I actually don't know if they're 3D printing or not. I would assume that's probably the only way you can get. You can do the bespoke, one-of-one customs on everything at that price anywhere. Not even just price point, just purely manufacturing purposes.
Even like volume, manufacturing wise.
Yep. Yep. So I assume it's 3D printed. I think we're going to see a lot more of that, and it'll be interesting to see how that industry evolves. Not just people getting 3D printers in their home to do stuff, but this concept of creating custom things, whether it be toys or parts or tools or whatever. It's interesting to me. I'm much more interested in the model than I am the toy itself. For me,
I think the 3D printing toy thing is completely like not looked at. I mean, we don't think about it because we don't play with toys as much anymore, but like being a kid and being like, man, I wish I had that toy. I mean, obviously buying a 3D printer isn't affordable for everybody, or printing quality like that, it takes time. Even to print those items, even on a small scale, it takes days. I'm pretty sure a day at least. Some bigger shit takes literally like weeks. My friend made a statue, like an Olympian statue, in like 3 separate pieces through 3D printers. I think it took like a whole month. Like, it's ridiculous. But either way, it's something that I would love to see get out more in the world. We see toys kind of get lost because of technology. So wouldn't it be nice being like, we can get anything that your kid makes, imaginary shit, and then you'd be like, oh, I can make this real for them. I think that's also going to spike a lot of interest. It turns imagination into real life, and that's something as a kid a lot of us probably would have enjoyed being younger. So they got something there. Let's see if they could connect the dots a little bit more and push it a little bit branding wise, and see if we can catch it as well as Pudgy's did. I would love to see even just like a set of items, like Volume 1 get released in Walmart. Maybe it's certain doodles, and they get royalties, kind of like what Pudgy's did, and they start releasing different volumes for people to collect, and they keep them sealed. There's an idea. But yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how this industry of custom stuff printed plays out. And I do think it's cool for like fun community, nice ads. Much, if I'm a community member, I'd much rather have, my doodle or my burb or my ape as a 3D, as a vinyl than just a random character. No offense to these fine burbs behind me. Or like the Blockies. Blockies are minting. I just saw that we had the Blockies founders on here recently. They're going a unique approach where theirs is going to be public mint for those that didn't get in the pre-sale with the partner collections, but it'll be a raffle. So bringing back the raffle, which probably don't have time this morning to get into mint mechanics, and love my friends over at Unvault. Great, partners here on the show, and I'm really excited about Bugs, and even more so excited about what Unvault is bringing to the marketplace, or bringing to the space.
Do you have them coming back to talk about that? Because I've been hearing a little bit about it, and I'm not.
Yeah, we'll have them back on next Wednesday for sure. They join us every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, or 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. So we will have them back on the talk. I don't know how we'll see how this stuff plays out, but in hyped mints, I mean, give me a gas war. I'm that weirdo, but if I had to choose between a allocation for a bunch of projects versus some projects getting guaranteed and then a big raffle, I don't know. I might prefer the raffle route. Speaking of mint mechanics, we've got Wrecked Traders mints today at noon Eastern time, and
version for Wreck Guys or something.
Yes, except it's more than just. I mean, I do think the art's pretty cool, but they're going to be actual traders, meaning each NFT will have a personality, a trader personality, and think of like we've seen. We've seen trading simulation games, and I don't really personally enjoy trading simulation games. I need skin in the game just to feel something. A leaderboard that I can maybe win $5 doesn't do it for me, but I am actually excited for my NFTs to compete in a trading simulation. So this is, I don't know if all this is verified. This is not from the official account. It's someone who kind of took together stuff that's been teased or leaked. And so here's what we have is there'll be 10,000 trading bots with their own personality and mood. 100 agents are already running in like test mode. 5-minute ticks, 175 markets, 2x leverage floor, an internal $200,000 simulated pot. Every trader will carry an actual behavior profile. So the traits of the trader types is momentum ape, diamond hands, tilt monster, mean reverter, and range trader. The engine tracks fear exits, YOLO entries, conviction trades, stop outs, and live tilt score. Like one bot will get stopped out loss on uni with a tilt of 356, then 8 back into near while still tilted at 345. Basically, NFT traders with coded personality disorders. Wrecked Zone privacy page confirms future wallet connect shows which traders you own. Holders can name their desk. prices, trades, liquidations, and standings come from Rec's own engine. And then
This seems a little, I mean, it sounds complex. I have a question. Is this based on actual trading? Like you like picking like a real trade? Like for example, like Bitcoin going to 80K from 77 or whatever? Or is this just like a play thing in the back that just randomly does something? And
I don't know if it'd be random. Think of it more of like, again, this is, we'll have OSF on next week, but I think I also agree with Diego here. This might, if you want to get ahead of it, and even if, especially if you're on the allow list, because back to my point, I'll finish my thought here and then we'll get to the rest of these hands. I will go Drew, Loki, and then Chico. I like how they did the allow list. Creative. First time we've seen this, where they have a subscription for their RecTrader Pro, $88 a month or $799 a year. And so one of the guaranteed phase out allow list for everyone that subscribed to the annual, the $800 a year, they did it early. They also got $800 worth of RecCoin that vested for a year. So basically a free roll that then gave them 12 mints, 12 guaranteed mints at 0.02. Like this thing cooks. They're going to have paid for their annual subscription just with an NFT flip or two, in addition to getting their RecCoin once it vests. And then the anyone who was a monthly subscriber, they got one allow list. Rec Guy NFTs got one allow list. I think for every 1 billion of Rec coin you hold, you can get in the first come first serve phase. The NFTs were a snapshot. Does anyone know if the Rec token was snapshot? I believe it was, but if someone can confirm or deny that, I would be curious. Meaning, like, if someone goes out and buys 1 billion Rec coin right now, do they qualify for first come first serve? I don't know. Don't do that because I think it was a snapshot. I'm just not sure. But I really like how we're seeing different mint mechanics. The biggest thing I like, more so than the mechanics, is I believe some of these leading projects we're seeing right now is they're pulling their supporters through with them. In Stonkberger's case, Simple Farmer rewarded multiple collections that he had, projects, experiments he'd done previously. Those individuals got to come on and burn those older NFTs for a free, Stonkberger. Rec guys they're rewarding their coin holders. They're rewarding their NFT holders. They're mostly rewarding their subscription holders, which is a newer mechanism. The one thing that's not been shared, which I think is almost a given based on the current meta, is that you'll need to activate, you'll mint the NFTs today. Then if you want them to play in the trading competition, you'll need to activate them. I'm guessing. They haven't said this, I don't think. I'm Diego and me are speculating, but I think you'll need Rec to activate them. Yeah, and you'll probably either pay Rec or maybe even burn Rec to activate them. And then they're competing. And then so think of it as like, instead of you picking trades, it's more like it's like you're building your fantasy lineup is how I understand it. Like, so I'm doing a fantasy draft for EPL today. I'm doing, best ball drafts for NFL. This is like your NFT traders have an agent personality, and you could have a trading desk with just one trader if you want. But if you want to really compete in the competition, I think this is where multiple traders, different personality types, and ultimately, how's your team going to do at the end of the day? Are they going to be up? Are they going to be down? And I could see I could see some fun stuff built into this. I knowing the team, there's probably some sort of circular economy here, meaning whether it's royalties or fees go back into the ecosystem. Maybe that's what creates the prize pool for the agent traders. We don't know. We will have the team on next week to talk detail about what is, what is coming or what the details are. But there's no guarantee. But at 0.02, if you can get in, I never any financial advice. Do your own research. Blah blah blah. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm certainly not your financial advisor. Don't join for that. Join for some fun information and maybe get some alpha on what might be the next cook. This is one of those. There's no guarantee it's going to be a cook. Really hard for me to see a scenario where this thing is trading at like 0.01 tomorrow. Like I think like the floor is probably where it's minting. Initially they teased the mint price at 0.042, and that got reduced to 0.02. I would be shocked if this thing trades below 0.0. It could eventually. Like I don't know how this. Maybe the trading competition's a flop. The agent personality is a flop. Maybe nothing. Maybe it just is more like season based, and they do one season, and after that there's no there's nothing to play for, so people let the NFTs go. But I think the art's actually cool. I actually like the art. It's think of like Rec Guys Pixelated. And this team's good. This team is good. They've not, they continue to ship during a bear. They didn't let price action get them down.
I think it was a good choice that they started at lower cap. I think even in current conditions, we don't know where we're getting, even short term here, starting a little bit lower, giving it room to run a little bit. We'll give it a little bit of a safety net so it isn't dumped off mint. And according to what you've said, seems like their allocation is going to be spread out to mostly holders of the community, NFTs of the coin, which should.
And a lot of these holders are diehard community members. They've been very long. They've had multiple chances. They could exit the ecosystem with big gains, and they continue to support. It's one of the most vibrant communities that remains from the 21 class. And I think, again, maybe not. There's no guarantee the thing cooks, but you look at like risk reward. In my head, these are my personal targets, not yours. My personal target, the floor on this thing is like 0.02. The floor on it is like where it's minting. The ceiling is, I don't know, I'm going to say 0.2. Like it could go higher, but what I think is like a realistic range for this thing is 0.2 to 0.02 or 0.02 to 0.2. And so it's like a relatively decent chance of a 10x. Could it go to 0 and I burn the 0.02? It could, it's possible. But these are the types of plays where I feel it's much more likely, if I was a betting man, which I am, much more likely that it trades in the secondary above mint price than below it because it's known teams. We know how they move. And also time bound. I'm talking like in the next 24 hours to 7 days, I feel extremely confident that this thing will trade at or above mint price and potentially runs away. So like when you're talking about mints, you could potentially mint a rare, or I don't know, maybe some of these personality types, maybe one of them is like the grail. Like, oh, this is the expert. This is the OSF trader. This is the expert trader. This is the trader that if this agent was around in 21, like Mando and OSF, they would have bought 80 apes and sold them for $8 or $9 million. If you reveal a trader rate that's extremely desirable, maybe the floor doesn't run up to 0.2, but you might end up hitting a rare that you flip for 0.69. Again, I'm making up numbers, but it's just one that I feel Diego's, not me, Diego's saying he guarantees a 2x. So if you mint this thing and it doesn't 2x, you can go take it up with Diego. Also, as I hand it off to Drew, and Drew, I know we kind of bounced around. Take it whichever direction you'd like. If you want to go back to the prior conversation, you're more than welcome. I will just say OSF just tweeted, here's an image if you haven't seen the Rec Traders. It's Rec Guys pixelated and with movement, with animation. And looks like they're like sitting in a computer trading. He says, I'm just incredibly bullish on Robinhood crypto, as am I. I feel like a rare opportunity to be early to something that has the potential to be the main cycle narrative. I couldn't agree more. I believe Robinhood chain will be the main cycle narrative this cycle, along with, like Hyperliquid and everything that's already come, but new stuff that's launching this bull. I think Robinhood leads the way, and I want to be exposed to the leaders on that chain. I think it's an if Robinhood turns on the marketing engine, if Robinhood onboards a fraction of their 30 million users, if TradFi decides they want to, they really do want to trade stocks 24/7, they want to come on chain. If, again, all of these big ifs, 10, 20% of them become active participants or want to start exploring other things on chain, I think they're not going to look at what's the free degen mint today. Maybe eventually, but I think after they get on chain, if they start exploring, the first things they're going to explore probably are the leading protocols that are doing the most revenue on chain, the highest meme coin token price, the highest NFT. Like, I think they're going to look at the leaders. And so my thesis is I think Robinhood chain continues to do very, very well. I think it's highly likely, maybe not highly likely, I think it's in range. I think likely that by the end of the cycle, Robinhood has flipped base on almost every metric in terms of volume and TVL and users. I think that they're, maybe call it second mover advantage, maybe call it timing, that they launch right before this cycle pops off and they've got more motion. But I also think the leadership team is they're just better. I would take Fern over Jesse 10 times out of 10. I would take Vlad over Brian. When it comes to the degen side of the space, I just, respect to Brian and everything. I think they're moving better. And so part of my excitement about Rec Traders is trusted, known team that I've been supporting for years. Happy to support them again. I'm able to gain access because I've been supporting them for years. And oh, by the way, they're also launching on what I think is going to lead the cycle, in this case, Robinhood Chain. Drew, GM, thanks for joining us. Sorry for dancing around, but feel free to take it whichever direction you'd like. If we still got Drew.
Oh, I don't think I had my hand up.
Oh, no worries.
I'm here for it though. Oh no, what I was gonna say is I think this is way back when. So ignore, we don't gotta talk about this. But I just think I am plushy, stuffed animal, IRL physical caricature out. Like I just want someone to do something different in the space as a brand.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. It's just not, I don't know. It's just, I don't want to say unoriginal. I feel like every brand has to do it. But I mean, gosh damn, it's not like groundbreaking or like next level anymore.
I'm with you. I feel pretty similar. And it's not funny or anything. It's just for me. Like I don't blame I don't think the brand shouldn't be doing it. They probably should, but it's kind of like more like table stakes than something that's, oh, this is it. This is gonna bring on people, or this is gonna drive the next wave of excitement, or this is the next big thing. It's more of like a, okay, cool, nice to have for the community. And this isn't a Doodles thing. This is just across the board. Like and also part of it's like because I've been here for so many years. I've bought so many of the merch drops, so many of the toy drops. It's like I just don't like. I've run out of space. I'm gonna have to build a full wall bookshelf to start showing off anymore. And yeah, I've got enough stuff. I guess I would say this: if they're going to do a toy, a merch drop, some sort of plushie or vinyl, or I would really like to see them find a way to incorporate the tech, and whether, even if it's not for me, if it's some sort of, at least a potential onboarding mechanism for the other non-crypto native buyers. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm kind of tapped out on toys and like if I'm buying stuff in the physical realm, I'm in pack grip mode. I got my hobby box, my jumbo box yesterday of the Topps, what do they call this? The flagship football. And I basically am just, so I've got, this is the hobby box and then a jumbo box. And I'm like, not streaming it, not going to open them all at once. It's just like, I like feeling something. And so the next time I feel like aping some, meme coin that I just missed, instead of burning $20 on a meme coin, I'm just going to go rip a pack. It's my way of like having packs on hand. I think this is my new life hack, is having packs on hand. When I need a little extra dopamine, I can just rip a pack instead of making some poor financial decision. Again, do what don't follow me into this sort of stuff. This is probably not the best use of funds, but it works for me. Chico, GM, what brought you up this morning?
Yo, GM, been playing around in the Robinhood ecosystem. Unfortunately, was looking at stockbrokers when they were at 0.2, but like I feel like everybody was saying that. But I had a question, and I just want to get your opinion. Regarding Robinhood and the volume, I think and especially NFTs, right? Like I've been at NFTs since 2021. I'm mostly in Solana. And I wanted to get your opinion on the fact that in order for Robinhood NFTs to continue to have volume and continue to have some sort of upside potential, I think stockbrokers need to do well. If they're at a high ceiling, I think other projects, it's more bull case for other projects to do well as well. And I wanted to know what are your thoughts on some beta stockbroker plays as well? So other than stockbrokers, what are some good beta plays as well, in your opinion?
Yeah, good question. Hard to say, because I'm not saying this just because I have stockbroker exposure. I am chasing some beta plays as well. That said, I'd rather find ways to get access to the leaders as opposed to the beta plays. We saw this with Apes last cycle, last NFT season, where from the early days, even before Apes hit 1 ETH floor, we started seeing other someone says apes are derivatives of punks. Well, maybe if you're talking a PFP NFT, But apes kind of kicked off that utility NFT meta and in the roadmap, and then we saw almost every other PFP collection was some form of a derivative, or at least took inspiration from apes, and in launch with very similar things. And it wasn't just like the initial launch, initial roadmap, but you could do something to be successful. The other PFP brands would copy it. Some will do well, but like if we look at today and you like, oh well, Pudgy's crushed and Doodles did well and Azuki's have done well, and for every one of those there was like, I don't know, somewhere between 1,000 to 10,000 beta plays that went to zero. Some of them did well in the short term, but at the end of the day, it's this may sound funny. I think it's riskier chasing beta plays than it is DCAing into the leaders. Now, where they can work though, and as I mentioned, I'm looking for beta plays, is ones that's not just a fork. It's not just a copy pasta, but they took some inspiration from what Stonkbrokers is doing and created some new mechanics, whether it was the tech, whether it was the rewards, but something that's different enough to where it could stand by itself, not always be looked at as like a distant beta play on Stonkbrokers. Maybe it launches with that from inspirational standpoint or from an inspiration standpoint, but something that there's more to it. Like they have something that Stonkbrokers doesn't necessarily. And there are some that have different mechanics today, but a few that I'll throw out there, no exposure myself, but ones that I've looked at and I've heard, and they've been doing some volume on the timeline and or not just on the timeline, they've been doing volume and are, you see them popping on the timeline. Looking at our leaderboard here, by the way, Hypers up 17% with hype ripping. GG's to all the hyper holders and collectors. Punks are flat. This is our daily market update, by the way. Apes up 7% to 8.14, while ETH is ripping. Things you love to see. Gribbets, this is a new one, not familiar, but up 77% on the day to 0.16. Pudgy's pulled back to 3.72, down 1.3%. Stonkbrokers, as we mentioned earlier, they've recovered. They're up 1% on the 24-hour clock, back to 5.5. Entropy, I know a few of us got into that yesterday. It was was it free? Yeah, I think it was a free mint. If not, it was very low cost. 0.0186 floor on that, but did do 50 ETH in volume, 6,000 sales. So if it's got some momentum, it's got some volume. We'll see if it continues. Mutants up 1%. The other, back to your question on potential beta plays. Again, I don't know all the details. I'm not in the ecosystems, but ones that have my attention, and maybe this weekend, if I get some time, I'll do some deeper diving, is RH Machines. It's at 0.054. It's up 39% on the day. Stackers, that's probably the closest like direct beta play copy pasta of Stonkbrokers. It's at 0.13. It's up 68% on the day. Fuego, not a beta play, but it's up 47%. The important thing, or the key thing to note with Fuego, is it's the like unofficial PFP of Lighter. The Lighter CEO, actually PFP, I don't know if he still has it, but he PFP'd a Fuego. And Lighter, the Lighter thesis is they're extremely close with Robinhood. Like Lighter is the Hyperliquid of Robinhood chain, and not only because they have not only because it's a perp dex, but the CEO of Lighter went to high school with Vlad, the CEO of Robinhood. They go way back, deep connection. And I hold one Fuego. I picked one up the other day at like, I don't know, 0.04, 0.05 or something. So there is, I guess, a bag bias, but I'm not in this to dump a 0.07 ETH NFT on your head. Chainmancer's up 2%. What's the other one here? Quatrons. So if I were to pick three off the, I know there's more. I know there's others. If I'm missing any Stonkbroker beta plays, please let me know. Drop them in the chat. But the three that have stood out to me is Quatrons. It's down 24% of the day. It's at $350 USDG floor price. Stackers at 0.13 and RH Machines at 0.054. Those are the three in my head that are like, okay, these are, done some material volume. While also been volatile, the floor price has recovered. There was one other one. Oh, this one here, it's down 52%. So this would be like a distant fourth, but Coattail Brokers. Also, I think this is a telltale sign that Stonkbrokers are going to be one of the leaders of the cycle if Robinhood chain continues, because the amount of derivatives we're seeing is almost unlike anything we've seen since apes. It's been a crazy amount of derivatives. It's very, very early, and that tells you, hey, they've got something there. Bull runners would be the other one. Sorry, so I'll give you 5. The first 3 I mentioned, I would actually add bull runners into the top 4. So my top 4 beta plays for with no exposure would be bull runners, quatrons, stackers, and RH machines. Those would be my top 4 that again, I have zero exposure. I'm not in the ecosystems, not a bag bias, but ones that have caught my attention and I've been watching. Kind of my point earlier of like, I'm not doing it, but if I were to sell my ape, this is the kind of stuff I'd add Stonkbroker, the token. I'd add some REC token because I think the REC token, maybe big if, but if the REC traders takes off, I could see that ecosystem being not just you pay and burn REC to activate. These guys are just smart. Like the OSF, Mando, Tabs, like they're really smart. Not just smart from, hey, they know how to build a business and scale a drink brand to 1 million units in year 1. They are smart building a business standpoint. They're just very talented, smart entrepreneurs. They also understand DeFi. They understand crypto. They understand NFTs. They understand the culture. And I could see them incorporating some REC burn mechanics. And hey, if the collection moons, even if there's no burn mechanics, it's going to draw attention back to the REC, the token. So yeah, these are kind of like, where am I positioning and what am I looking for? I think you're wise on, hey, try to identify some beta plays. Just know that if you're gonna go that route, you got to almost do so embracing that while they may all be up in the short term, the reality is maybe 1 out of 10 of them will still be relevant in 6 to 12 months. Whereas I feel very confident Stonkbrokers will still be relative in 6 to 12 months. I have no idea what the floor price is going to be, but those that have chased this meta, a few will make it. Most won't, and because volume is such a key part of the flywheel, it's got to have volume to generate the revenue, generate the fees. Otherwise, heading into a bull, people are just going to lose attention. People are going to chase the new shiny toys, and much easier to see people losing attention on a beta play than the cycle leader. Go ahead and respond to that, Chico, if you want, and then we'll keep things moving.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. Honestly, like, I was looking, and I'm happy that you kind of went through all of the beta plays, and honestly, the updates. This is super helpful. I'm gonna be looking into it because honestly, like right now, I think that everything's pegged off of stockbrokers. Everything's kind of moving based on how stockbrokers performs. So, if you can like get and also by the way, like me personally, I don't think there's enough volume for any 10K collection to like do it somewhat crazy numbers right now. I know that might sound crazy, but I just don't think I stay away from anything 10K or 7,500 or plus, right? So that's my thing. I appreciate it. Thank you, Captain.
You got it. No, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you coming up. Before I move on to the token side of the market update, Avi, I saw you joined us here on stage. Anything you wanted to add or questions, comments, thoughts on that conversation? Go ahead, agent.
Yeah. Just real quick to add to your response that you had for Chico, look into the stockbroker ecosystem as well. Like, while they might not be as aligned and might not be like the same exact flywheel or modeled off it, there are different projects that you can find, like, if Mansers for you, or I heard Yardkeeper's doing some, they announced something last night, which I have to look into. There's also like the card pull if you're a card collector, so, which will be rewarded off the gotcha activity. So I think there's also some other plays within the stockbroker ecosystem if you're bullish on that at all.
Yeah, good call. And while I know there's been a lot of talk and focus on the launch pads this week, let's not forget about special projects. I still have my eye on Cardwall. Yard just introduced, they're bringing synthetic Bitcoin to Robinhood chain. Pretty cool. Pretty awesome. But I don't know, like, from a activity standpoint or something I'm going to participate in, or an NFT I need, not really. But the Chainmancer, I have one. So it's, again, I guess there's a little bit of a bag bias there. I don't care about the floor price. I'm excited to have an NFT that sits at the core of an ecosystem that has an incredible protocol. Like I did a swap this morning on there. It's really good. Like when Slopfather, when Michael said, "Hey, we desire to build the Jupiter of Robinhood chain," I'm like, "Oh, sure, yeah, that's good. That's a good aspirational goal. Everyone wants to say that. Like, yeah, pick something that's done $1 billion in fees, and yeah, we're going to bring this to Robinhood chain." When he said it, I didn't even realize at the time that it's not only a first for Robinhood chain, it's the first for EVM. And they're like, okay, well, it's still got to be as good. Yeah, the tech's got to work. It's a beta, so maybe it doesn't hold up with load as more users come on, but it is almost feeless, almost no slippage, and it's super snappy, super fast, and that to me is really exciting. That's what, when you talk about the stockbroker ecosystem, that's what I'm looking for next. Like, I don't really personally, I'm not a trencher. I'll dabble every once in a while. I personally don't really care about a meme coin launchpad, but I get why he's doing it. I saw Loki ask the question, like, I hope we can eventually move past this, and something like, hey, it's cool, get it, but I think token launchpads, we have 87 of them, and it doesn't excite a lot of people. That said, it's like it's the number 3 crypto producing, fee producing, revenue producing protocol on almost every chain. So it's like, I don't want to say it's table stakes, but when you're building an ecosystem that these projects are going to have tokens, for many reasons, it makes sense to have your own internal launchpad. But for me, more so than the launchpad, or I'm going to rush out and buy the first meme coin that's launched on it today, I'm looking for what's the next protocol that might have an NFT at the core of it, like Chainmancers, like Cardwall, etc. And I think those are great beta plays. While it's not a direct, competitor or a direct beta off of Stockbroker, the ecosystem, coming from the ecosystem, you have real network effects there, the real community support, and conceptually, I love this new thing we've seen emerge where you've got an NFT, often in these cases paired with a fungible token at the core of the ecosystem, and being able to share in those marketing rewards. That's what's got me really excited, and that's what I'm looking to identify what's next. Not just the next one, but what's the next one that's got serious upside, assuming they execute well, and it's a good launch. Let's do this. Let's take a quick look at Script Kitties. Jad, Script Kitty says everyone needs a kitty, they say. Here is the big chart of leaders today. Green across the board. The top 20 index up 7% on the day. Bitcoin up 7.47% on the day. 23% on the week. 77K. Incredible. Love to see it. ETH, not to be outdone, up 28% nearly on the week. Up 4% on the day to almost 2,400. BNB up 5%. XRP up 15%. 37% on the week. Solana up 4%. 20% on the week. Hyperliquid up 3.9%, 33% on the week. Just bananas. Doge up 8%, 21% on the week. Zcash up 34% on the week, up 13% on the day. Just winners across the board. You gotta do some honey. Monero surprisingly down 0.63% on the day. This might be not looking for a Monero trade, but I might throw a little long at this today, based on that red number alone. Seeing a chart that is single to double digit green across the board, and this one is lagging for whatever reason. I don't know why. I like Monero better than Zcash, but the fact that it's down barely, but down 65% on the day where things are just ripping, maybe it just doesn't catch a bid, but I would be willing to bet that it's just lagging a bit here. And it could be that, there's a world where tomorrow at this time, it's the big winner on the day. It was just a day late. Love to see it. Congratulations, everyone who went to bed with longs open last night and woke up to some exciting P&Ls this morning. Proof Affidegen, thank you for getting your 7 emojis in. Yeah, the 7 emojis, the click the share button, copy the link, all that is acceptable and greatly appreciated. Diabolito said there's no burn mechanics. The traders will remain as art. I don't think the traders will burn. I think the wrecked coin will burn. I don't think they'll be burning traders. I think they'll be burning wrecked coin to activate traders. And then potentially other, maybe you can upgrade or change, maybe you can change your personality type. Pure speculation. They're not saying this. I'm just guessing how this could play out. And I would not be surprised if there's some sort of wrecked coin burn mechanic that plays into the ecosystem. Also, DGLT trophies, yeah. Regarding the beta play question, interns, stonk brokers they're already working on the art. They'll have interns, but it's going to be a non-deflationary mechanic where it's not going to be the ecosystem's not going to be many a new collection. Rather, stonk brokers will be able to effectively fractionalize themselves to create an intern to which they would, my understanding is, sell directly to new entrants. Catching up with the chat here a bit. It could be a lot to spend for a full lineup of traders. You don't have to do that. You don't have to buy a full lineup. You could. I'm pretty sure you can play the game with just one. I'm just saying, like, I think how I'm looking at it is I think some will like build their fantasy lineup of traders, of virtual agent traders to compete in the tournament. And hey, maybe it's not worthwhile. Maybe the math doesn't math. But oh, thanks, Maria. This is helpful. Back to the toys real quick, and then we'll hit the next topic. Maria shared a photo from Burnt Toast's personal collection. These do look cool. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if I could have a setup like this, if I could replace all those Burb vinyls back here with, my ape, and I don't know if I'd print a Stonk Perker. They're kind of, I don't know how that would look as a vinyl, but if I could print my ape, my mutant, my doggo, have a little collection of my Yuga family, my wreck guy, maybe that would be tarred as a vinyl as well. Like I would that'd be cool. I would prefer that over the generic Burb vinyls, but I also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like I'm not dropping over $1,000 on toys to build out a lineup of vinyls. Very cool looking, high quality. Says resin printing, heavier weight, full color, quality check before printing, ready to ship in 2 weeks. Again, cool concept. That fact that you can get your own custom 101, you can get it so quickly. 2 weeks is a pretty quick turn. I think it is. I think it's really cool. I just maybe in a bear, I'm more interested to spend money on toys. But right now, it's like if I'm putting $1,000 in anything, I'm looking for a pretty aggressive return. That said, trying to keep up with all the chats here, but I'm not doing the greatest job of this morning. Yeah, on Front Night, I'm not going to go there on stage, but I feel kind of the same. This one the most ever before with what you just said about the last two. This one's just got me feeling a certain way, and I don't know. I'm sure I'm subject to change. We'll see how things feel, or how I feel after. But yeah. All right. So, what else is minting today? I'm excited for rec traders. We know interns aren't minting today. At least I don't think they are. We know the launchpad's going off today. I might dabble. I might throw some dust at some memes just to see if I can catch lightning in a bottle there. But not putting any size in any of that stuff. What looking forward to Zero to Hero Academy. This looks like a new one from EJR. Yeah, what else? What else are we? I got to share this. Hold on. If you missed it, it's an excerpt from, it's the scene from the Odyssey where Odysseus is tied to a pole on the boat when they're passing the sirens. But instead of Matt Damon, they swapped him out for Peter Schiff, and it says "Wake him up to Bitcoin." Love to see it. Love to see it. Actually, Maria, that would be more likely. She says you can print special moments, maybe like your daughter playing lacrosse or college, or holding her when you're younger, or oh my OMG, your doggo. Yeah, I'd be much more likely to do something like that than another NFT toy. Good call. The trend is your friend, Cap. What do you mean by this? I'm lagging on my chat, so I feel like I'm a conversation behind. But what else? What else is popping off there? I know it's a busy day. Let me go look at the OpenSea drops page to see if there's anything over there that going to be in a cabal to get access to. Drops. We got Tyler coming up here. Drops, we've got nothing. Internet Monkeys, that starts in 7 hours. I don't some of this I'm seeing or sharing, diving in with y'all in real time, so please don't take it as an endorsement. But these look like SMB. These look like the small monkey business from Solana, minting on Robinhood chain. Looks like 0.0075 mint price. Guarantee phase goes live at noon Eastern. Then first come, first serve at 1:30. Then public at 3. Supply is, I don't see supply. 5,000. Supply on those are 5,000. Might be worth a shot. I don't know if anyone's heard or can educate us at all on Internet Monkeys. Doom Scroll, this one to keep an eye on. Doom Scroll, thank you X is a known artist, established artist in the space. This mint's been out a while, and it's been a really slow burn. It's a higher end. I think too high. I think this is why it's been a slow burn, because he came mint price is 0.256, where even, compare that to, Jack Butcher, a better known artist, just dropped a collection for, granted it's 500 pieces for $1. 0.256 is definitely high, but it's continued to move, albeit very slowly. Wouldn't be the first time we see a slow burn that takes weeks to mint out, and then as soon as it mints out, it runs. So worth keeping an eye on. Depends on your risk appetite, depends on your bankroll, and what else and if you like the art. I mean, first and foremost, if you like the art, go collect what you want to collect. But I think I think this could be one that runs after, maybe. Again, it's got 14 mints to go, 12 mints to go. If it mints out and then we start seeing some secondary activity, maybe. At least worth watching. You can see the collector base too, like Dave Krugman's in there, Ryan Ott, Mendez, Bats, thank you X is the artist. Phrase, our guy Phrase. Satari Must Die also did some new stuff. I need to get him on Delta Sauce, Bat Soup. So it's got some pretty quality collectors already. Ones who aren't instant dumpers. It's 256 unique one-on-one video works created by Thank You X. Each piece is a signature artifact. No two are alike in composition, motion, or texture. Each of the 256 pieces captures a moment of real time of doom scrolling, raw feed footage fed through data, moshing, and feedback loops until the noise becomes signal. So again, I know that's not for everyone, but it's just, I think it's worth keeping an eye on. I would not be surprised if it takes another month to mint out. I also wouldn't be surprised if we tune in Monday morning and we're talking about Thank You X being like a 2 ETH floor price because it minted out and people started FOMOing in. Yes, thank you for sharing that. So I was going to go grab. Oh, Phonics says Monero usually doesn't run with the majors. So don't long Monero today. My research was short-lived. Better off sticking with Bitcoin, ETH, hype, lighter pump, etc. You're probably right. Entropy just revealed. Okay, that one that we talked about minute yesterday. Let's go check in with Satari Must Die. New, and he DM'd me as well. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? So I have proper time to talk about this, and we'll get to Tyler if you want to join the conversation. Let me do a quick. I'm going to do a quick, not even the full 120 seconds. We'll do a quick coffee break, and on the other side of this, we'll get everyone updated on Satari Must Die. We've got Coffee with Captain coming up. If you want to get in on the claw pool today, we got a $50 claw pool going out to someone in the chat. Someone who comments between now and by the time I get back from this coffee break will be our participant for today's Coffee with Captain. And you could pull a nice, 4-figure-ish grail pool from the claw machine. But we'll do that right on the other side of this. Let me know in the chat if you want to participate in Coffee with Captain, and as well as if there's anything else that's minting today or anything else you got your eyes on. We'll be right back after this coffee break. Welcome back to Coffee with Captain. I hope you got your comments in the chat for whoever wants to participate in Coffee with Captain. We'll go check those now. Yes, I agree, Bob. What a fantastic time to be in crypto. GM Judo. Chicken Wizard. Chicken Wizard wants to play. Looking forward to daily updates on the other side of the world, so it isn't morning, but always catching the news regardless. Appreciate you being here. Eddie Crypto. Good claw gift. That's some bonus points. LB Laid Back Dad, Cute Doggo, Swiv, Mesh, Mike C with the multiple comments, Clawmints, we're calling it now, Clawmints. Appreciate you all warming up the chat. Let's go. Chicken Wizard is our Coffee with Captain participant today. GM, appreciate you joining us all the way on the other side of the world. We will get a claw pull. Actually, I need to make sure I've got a code for today. Yeah, pump's doing really well. Hype won't stop going up. It's like broken. It's up only right now. That's kind of a cool one. I like the whale, Peter. Tindies is pumping. Pingu is pumping. It's just like throw anything at the wall and you'll be green tomorrow. Oxy, you still have any longs open?
Got a hype long open still, but man, it's so hard to not just want to chase these green candles with more open longs.
Yep.
Like it's just so unhealthy.
Yep. And so while we get excited, I don't feel euphoric yet, but it's very important not to don't overtrade. Don't hit a big win and then you feel like you're invincible and you feel like you're the genius trader, the best trader ever to walk crypto Twitter, and then you get away from your plan and you size up and you go 10x the size, 10x the leverage, and I'll tell you, it's worse than a round trip. You literally, like, people, we see it. We've seen it way too many times. People get, I'm invincible, I can't miss. The market has a great way to humble people, and just, I'm not saying don't play with leverage, because I would be hypocritical if I said don't play with leverage when I play with it myself, but that's like the easiest way to lose in a bull market, is you get over levered or over levered and or sized up and playing outside of your typical game plan. So just proceed with caution if you're going to ratchet up the lever. On the Satari front, so here's what you can do. You can browse the collection. You can leave observations on the works. Observations will be fun. Each artist will be able to select which observation they like best about the piece. That person then will receive a piece from the core collection. Auctions are open. Auctions are a zero reserve and will be open for a week. Let's just browse around here and see what we see. Look, walk, run, jump, study, back. I really like the vibes of the whole site.
Hello, observer. The Long Live Satori auction is now open. Welcome in. Explore the collection. Make observations. Bid on the works that move you.
So it's like a virtual arrow around. It's like a metaverse where you can find different art in here.
House Helix.
You can leave comments. This is a user error on my end, not the site itself, because how do I observe, Dort? So I'm in the Helix house. Very, like, a lot more than, here we go, there's the interacted.
Witnessed.
Current bid on this one's 1 ETH. The brief, if Satari walked into your world, what would it look like? This is Dave Krugman's the artist on this one. Here's some observations. And again, the artist, I know this guy. I steer at the pool steers back, jump already. It beckons me into suspiciously deep waters as I dive in like a KOL posting a thread on X. Dort, I'd choose you if I was Dave. Pretty cool piece. But long story short, I just very, very much more so than just a basic or a just art, right? Satari Must Die, it's art. I do like the art of the collection, but even more so, I like the different mechanics, and taking it even one step further with this one's got a 0.22 ETH bid on it for Modest. So 20 great artists, go around, explore, and those auctions stay open for a week. Who knows after that? But I think I'm all for more and more on-chain experimentation. We'll see. We'll get Phrase on here maybe next week to do a deeper walkthrough. Congrats on that Entropy Zombie Rob. Looks good. But let's go back around the horn. Tyler, GM, welcome to the stage. Thoughts this morning, or what brought you up? Tyler might just be ore farming. Oxy, I know I put you on the spot earlier with the long question. Probably not which brought you up though. Other thoughts this morning?
Dude, just long everything, you know. No, it's crazy. I mean, it's a good time to be in crypto. You know what I mean? I was just messaging in the forum about this NFT that just got dropped into my wallet. I'm like pretty sure it's a scam, but it's got offers, and I'm like, God damn, how do I not take this $60 offer on this NFT that just landed in my wallet? But bull market's back, I guess, huh?
Yeah, be good PSA on those. Be very careful with any tokens dropped in your wallet, any NFTs dropped in your wallet, especially if one drops in your wallet you've never seen before and it's got offers on it. Those can be essentially like phishing mechanism. It could be a drainer. I don't know how it works. I don't know if it's even possible for like OpenSea to prevent that stuff from happening. But I got the just, you know, scared me straight to not interact with any of that stuff. So yeah, just be very, very careful. Make sure you know it is a legit collection before interacting with anything token, fungible or non-fungible dropped in your wallet.
Yeah, for sure. I'm curious, like, obviously we're deep in NFT trade season, altcoin / meme coin trade season, major, longing perps on majors. Are we thinking there might be like an edge case anywhere for airdrop farming for protocols that have been, waiting to TGE? People have kind of given up on the points farming situation, and we should be kind of paying attention to that kind of stuff. Or I guess, is that not even worth it right now? What are your
dude? I think absolutely. I'm surprised we haven't seen more threads. I'm old enough to remember, like, I don't know, January, February, there was like dozens of, it was like the thing, it was for a week. It was like what every B, C tier KOL was posting on the timeline. Here's 40 airdrops that haven't dropped yet. Position yourself for these don't miss these 40 airdrops. Don't miss these 41 airdrops. Don't miss these 50 airdrops. And then we went into things pulled back, went into a bear or deeper into a bear. None of them dropped, or I think one of the 40 TGE, and everyone else said, just kidding. People like to talk about, OpenSea's delay, but it wasn't just OpenSea. It was everyone that was planning a TGE in Q1 decided to delay. Almost everyone. But they're likely to TGE at some point, and when they do, it could be a massive liquidity, boost for the space at large, but also as everyone's chasing, the new shiny toys, Robinhood Chain and Stockbroker ecosystem and Stockbroker betas, it's a good time to maybe think about what is a big protocol that works well, it's used, it's got a big future, it's got a path to, even more volume that people aren't talking about right now. Where can you find some outsized opportunities in the sense of little capital at risk, just participate? In some cases, maybe it's not even moving a ton of capital. It's just click some buttons, make sure you're active, make sure you created a profile, make sure you did the bare minimum, because sometimes the minimal tier of airdrop can be 4 figures, 5 figures. You never know. And so yeah, if there's things like that you had on your radar and then you stop because, this is never going to happen, now might be a time. Is there anything that you were farming that you stopped that you're thinking about, should I go farm this again?
Yeah, well, I guess perp platforms just in general. I've kind of I had stopped, trading on them. The only thing I'm using right now is variational. For the perp side of things, but for a while there I was using Monads per platform to farm points and shit like that. And then Ostium was another perp platform that I was farming points on too. And I've just but thank God I stopped farming Ostium because they had a hack not too long ago or whatever. So but as far as other protocols, I think the only one really right now that I'm looking at is Project X, and then maybe K-Hype and Kinetic in that ecosystem. I mean, I just don't, there's nothing else that's really, I feel worth looking at right now. Outside of, I don't know, from the DeFi perspective, I guess is what I should be saying. Rather, I don't know.
Did I see Project X? Are they doing something new? Or I thought I saw some post recently, but I can't remember what it was for the life of me.
They posted a what was it? It was like a video, like a announcement video of I don't even know really what it was, to be honest. It's just like a what's the word I'm looking for? It's just like an edit of a bunch of different clips. And it said Hyperliquid is awesome. And they said CZ said it or whatever. But the last post they had was from June 25th. So it's been pretty quiet there on that front. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I know you mentioned variational. I know Phonics has been bull posting variational for a while. That TGE is supposed to be by the end of Q3. And I'm quoting him here, fits right into that perp dex meta, just under lighter as far as open interest and daily volume. That is next on my list. I have not farmed it. I've not even opened an account, but that's one I will do what I say here and follow my own advice. And I'm not going to move a ton of funds on there, but I will at least go click some buttons, create an account, and do at least bare minimum to qualify for like the entry level tier of an airdrop if it in fact does come. I'm curious, anyone else, not just our stage here, but in the chat, if you any other protocols, like two-part question, mints or anything you're minting today, any launches you're excited about, and or second part is nothing on your radar for today other than rec traders, but you are this is something you're bullish on that potentially could TGE in Q3 or Q4. I mean, imagine there's a world where Q3 we get a OpenSea airdrop, we get a MetaMask airdrop. I don't know anything. I'm not saying this. They're not saying this. It's possible that we get a few very, very large airdrops heading into the Q4 where things really heat up. That said, I also kind of agree with Zonko, who says, hate to be the doomer, but every team is so greedy that airdrops become new $15 sandwich drops. Hyperliquid did it the right way, and look at them now. You're right. The delusional optimist in me is holding out hope that at least one of these airdrops, one of these hyped airdrops, does it the right way as well and follows the Hyperliquid path. And maybe like what would be really interesting bias would be some of these protocols that have a TGE coming, instead of doing even the Hyperliquid route of an airdrop, go the stockbroker route. Drop an NFT to your users, your top 1,000, your top 5,000, your top 10,000, and pair that NFT with the fungible token like the stockbrokers are. Give them a reason to not just hold, but a reason to activate said NFT and plug into the protocol flywheel. I think like that's the thing we haven't necessarily seen with a major protocol airdrop now, is we haven't seen a TGE since this new meta leveraging the Anvil tech stack. And some could use Anvil, but some could do a similar mechanic themselves if they want, if they got a good enough dev team. I think we could see, and maybe it's none of the big ones, maybe the big ones don't take the risk, but I think we could see some new versions of airdrops that we really haven't seen much change. Unfortunately, most of the change has not been great for the users. It used to just be you got token dropped in your wallet and they were worth something. Now you got to jump through a bunch of hoops, give them all your data, and then you get like 1/10 of your airdrop. The rest will be slow dripped over a year. I think much better than that would be this like what we're seeing with pair it with an NFT and incorporate that into your airdrop somehow. Thomas says, take a look at GTE doing something similar. Sing up there. Hood AI. I've not heard about Hood AI. Cool check. No opinion. It's the first time hearing about it for me. And others getting in on. I'll check Hood AI. Thanks for sharing. I will look into it. My first, like I said, I have zero knowledge. Have not explored it yet, but I don't see everything. Thanks for sharing. Hood AI. If you got a link, go ahead and drop that. But I'm guessing I can find it here. Monday decides whether you're early or just watching. Hood AI launches this Monday. Oh, it launched on the Stockbrokers Launchpad. This was, I guess, so next Monday it launches. Is that right? I'll share the screen I'm looking at. We can learn together. 2 products live. Robinhood put stocks on chain. Nobody built the parts that make them usable. Robinhood tokenized 194 stocks on its own chain. Every major explorer reads the balances wrong. Robinhood just let the AI agents move real money through those balances and no way to check the agent before the trade fires. Hood AI shipped a fix for both. 2 products, both live on Robinhood chain right now. Terminal that reads the equity standard correctly in an escrow layer so that any AI agent can be hired, verified, and paid without anyone in the middle deciding who to trust. The number your explorer shows is wrong. Tokenized equities on Robinhood chain implement ERC 8056 after a stock split or dividend. The raw balance of the value on chain stays frozen and a multiplier moves underneath it. Every tool reading the position has to know how to combine both. Nothing else does. BlockScout reads it natively. RobinScan reads it natively. CoinGecko, DexCounter do the same. Most tickers stood at the multiplier of 1 today, so the gap looks harmless. It stays harmless until the first split hits. Netflix already recorded 1 on chain through another issuer. The environment retail is trading into a tokenized equities market where the tools most people are checking cannot report a correct balance after a corporate action. Terminal that reads the standard. Hood AI stock terminal is the first product in the ecosystem, went live before the marketplace. This is why the same wallet you use for tasks already has an equities book under it. Prices come from Chainlink Oracles. Nothing says so. It's pretty heady. I don't like. I understand what they're saying. I'm not saying what they're saying is inaccurate. I just don't know. It's not clicking for me. Okay, cool. What does this do for me? Other than helps me read if the stock splits. Put it another way, how do I make money on this? I need a TLDR. I will read later, but this at this point, it is TLDR for me, and I will copy paste this into Claude or ChatGPT and ask for a summary and get it. Yeah, it's a little over my head as well. Like I understand like what the problem they're solving, but I don't immediately see how I make money on it. And because things are popping off, if I'm going to put my time and attention into something, I need to be able to make a return, at least potentially. I don't need to make a return on everything, but I need to make a potential return, or at least have a path to a return. Here is GTE, the other. This comes from Thomas. GTE XYZ. I was following it. The only trading platform that gets better with you. Raised 15 million Series A from Paradigm to scale a global token exchange. Congrats. Okay, I don't know much else about it. Still looks like in waitlist mode. So could be something there. Could be one of those protocols that good video. You got me. You know, it's so funny. Like it wasn't the anime that got me. It was the anime that went down and sat at his work desk, and they had TVPN pulled up in the background. I dig it. Like some people are gonna hate on AI stuff. I don't mind it. I don't mind AI Jim Cramer, who, by the way, marked the bottom once again, sold all his Bitcoin and started off this bull for us. Thank you for your service, Jim. No, thanks for sharing, Thomas. Yeah, great video. We're back in like a promo video. We'll get. I'm old enough to remember a promo video like this. If they dropped this video in 2021, they could have dropped an NFT collection that would have raised about $70 million. You think I'm joking? Go see Pokemon, or not Pokemon. What am I talking about? What collection dropped Kevin?
Pal World, or was it Pal World? Or not Pal World? That's that game. Dude, it's right there too.
So I know someone knows. War Room will know. What collection dropped Kevin? It was like a Pokemon derivative. It's like fake Pokemon. They raised, I'm not even exaggerating, literally raised $70 million on a mint. And the kid was like 18-year-old. Pixelmon. Yeah, yes, thank you very much. Jolly Elf and Osiris. Let me see if okay, I got a silver pool. Jolly Elf, you're queued up. You got a coffee with Captain coming next week for being the first in the chat there to guess that right. or help me out with that. Pixelmon, what a time to be alive. Yeah, the kid quite literally raised $70 million on an NFT mint. No idea what he was doing. And then he sold to a team that was established and actually knew how to build a game, etc. But I don't even blame the kid. I blame the space for just getting way too heated and giving a kid that made a good trailer video $70 million. What were we doing? Goodness. Oh, goodness. Little trivia. What was the first NFT platform? I don't know. I know my guy Bunchu had a white paper or a pitch deck on building an NFT marketplace before OpenSea did. But I don't know what your trivia question is. Oxy, go ahead.
Yeah, so you were just talking about like the stockbroker ecosystem and how that, like, how people can airdrop that way. What's interesting about the protocols getting built on Robinhood is that there's no points farming. I mean, you look at Mancer,
right?
And you were talking about earlier how good it was, and I agree. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to use it just because it's a good product, but there's no, you're not farming points for an airdrop. So I'm curious how, like, that's going to influence people's like utilization of the protocols. Like if you look at Uniswap, people use it because it's good and liquidity, doing liquidity on there is easy and simple. Swaps on there are relatively cheap and they're efficient. So I'm imagining it's going to be similar to that, but I'm curious, like, does that impact how people use the protocols there? But then also, like, is that just going to be the norm going forward, especially on Robinhood? I'm curious. I don't know.
Good question. Like, I think this is worth unpacking. I hadn't really thought about this, but I prefer it. I mean, here's what, they've done over, I don't know, $1 million in volume. They, still in very, like, it's a closed beta of like 200 people, 300 people maybe. And they're doing well, like, for a closed beta, doing numbers. Not only that, closed beta, and there's no incentives. Like, no one's getting farming points. There's no farm. So I like that. I think you get much better real data. You get real users who are much more likely to be a sticky user instead of just people coming to farm an airdrop. I also think, while it may not be the traditional airdrop, oh, you're going to go get a bunch of points, that's going to convert to an airdrop, or you're going to do a bunch of volume, that's going to convert to an airdrop. Here, because that's not how the airdrop is going to take place, I think it's bullish for the token. I think it's bullish for those that have exposure to these ecosystems. Or, I mean, you can, even if you miss Chainmancers, I mean, the floor is down to, like, this is a good beta play. Someone said, in my opinion, who knows, maybe the thing doesn't take off, but people are looking for beta plays in the stockbroker ecosystem. Someone mentioned in the ecosystem are good beta plays. Yeah, the floor on these right now is 0.32. And I don't know. Again, maybe it doesn't take off, but I also wonder if, Oxy, if we see like a hybrid mix here, and I don't know, I need to dive a little deeper if the team held any token back or NFTs back. I know Michael, the slot father, I know he's been buying Chainmancers. He's been buying Mancer the token himself, and the projects putting, continues to invest in, to bet on themselves, buying the tokens, plural, fungible and non-fungible. I don't know if they have an allocation held back, but I can see that being like the next phase of a quote unquote airdrop meta is, so, team launches with this Anvil model where there's an NFT at the core of the ecosystem. It also comes with some fungible token, but then they hold back 50% of the plot supply. And then the airdrop goes to the NFT holders. It's going to make some people big mad because you're going to hear people crying, oh, it's just the cabal, the rich get richer. It's like, well, I don't know this is going to be it. It may not be. It probably isn't. But looking for opportunities like this, like, we know there's new mechanics have come out. New meta has formed. We know there's over 40 protocols that still have to do an airdrop. I think there's a good chance that some of them are probably going to attempt to do something unique where they do this hybrid model of the NFT and the token. And I think some that already have, there's potential that they go back and reward their supporters, their earliest supporters who held and supported them and used the protocol. It's like, oh, by the way, you've not been farming points, but we're going to actually just reward your loyalty like a loyalty rewards program, not a farming program. Oxy, go ahead and then we'll get a Ken in here.
Yeah, and what's interesting about it is like the idea of the entire stockbroker ecosystem revolves around these marketing incentives or whatever Simple Farmer calls them, the marketing, what do you call them? Marketing rewards or
that's what they are.
Whatever. Yeah. So I guess I'm curious, like, is Manser set up that same way? To be honest with you, I haven't done enough digging into Yard, I know how Yard works. Yard is a little bit different. Like they're building a technology that you can actually run on your computer, on your laptop or whatever that, like validates that entire infrastructure. Manser is different. Like they don't have that tech that you're going to be running on your computer. It's more so just a representative of, I don't know, the token, I guess, more or less, because you can swap it in and out for the token. So I'm curious, how does that get redistributed back? Is it like a fee collector type deal, or how are they planning on doing that instead of an airdrop? Is it just like when Project X did that USGC like cash drop or whatever? Is it more so like that type of mechanism or something completely different? I'm not sure, but there's some really cool ways they could probably play this, and I'm hopefully people get creative.
Yeah, if anyone knows the specifics, I'm trying to find them now so I don't misspeak. But they're in the end. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know the specifics.
Awesome.
Yeah, so basically, I think it's safe to assume that a lot of these protocols that were launched, Manser, Yard, like they all sort of fit around the same mechanism that the stockbrokers do. They are, you earn a marketing share. So currently with Yard, just like Manser, you stake your tokens in the Anvil, your NFTs, right? You can upgrade them by burning the token, right, to earn a multiple. But currently, those emissions are emitting tokens, right, to the holders of the NFTs. And I think Yard is emitting at a higher rate. And I think part of the reason is that, again, those tokens for Yard are kind of like you need them to validate the protocol, right? So you download the software, you have to have, these assets as an entry point into the validation. And then for validation, the protocol is routing some of the fees it's generating to the validators, right? So again, these are very and I'll just be upfront, these are very equity-like assets where you're earning a fee share or revenue share that undergirds the protocol. I think it's really important for people to kind of wrap their heads around that.
It is important for people to wrap their heads around it, but while we call them marketing rewards, because that's what they are.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
yes,
marketing rewards. Sure.
They're marketing rewards that look and act and feel like another form of distribution.
But I would say this, right? So Simple Farmer is not wrong. It's not just like a fee earning or a marketing reward, but he's right, because the incentive for the holders is also to market these protocols, to talk about them.
Exactly.
You want people to use them so you can earn those fees. And as a holder of those assets, you're going to, of course, default, right, to using those protocols as long as they work, right? Because why will I route my transactions through anything other than Manser? Or why would I use a bridge as a holder, right, and use anything other than Yard, where I have a fee share, right? You're just not going to do that. So I think we're less, and who knows, anything can change down the line, but I think you're less likely to see any sort of, in my view, like airdrops, because the mechanism to align already exists, right? Buy into the protocol. If you cannot get an NFT, you can actually, again, even the tokens themselves like almost behave like equity because they're exchangeable for the fee, right, NFT. Like you could always go into Anvil if you have enough and then acquire, right, the NFT so you earn those fees. And in some of the protocols, there's some sort of like relationship where as the fees rise and people are earning fees, because you also kind of inflate the value of the token. Because, for example, with stockbrokers, the vast majority of stockbroker stakers have elected to receive their fees in stock tokens. So when you get your fee, it gets converted and it's bidding stock tokens so you can accumulate more of it. So I'll tell people, right, one of the hacks, if you can't get an NFT stockbroker, actually hold the token, because there's this recursive value that will also return to the token. And I think most of the protocols that we've talked about so far, they behave in that general mechanism of hold any one of the assets. And to be very honest, like there's nothing better than financial alignment. Like it's like there are no freebies in this ecosystem. It's you're aligned with the system, everyone can enter. And the last thing I'll say too is I think the approach that's going to come, and Simple Farmer has said this in many forums, I think what's going to happen, at least for stockbrokers, and it might be indicative of what happens for the others, is that you'll have the ability as a holder of a stockbroker to fractionalize your stockbroker with up to 2 interns. And what that basically means is that at some point, I think a couple of months is what has been telegraphed, you can have the option as a staker to say, okay, I'm going to create a couple of interns and I'll delegate X percentage of my fee to those interns.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be a way for then people to basically take some liquidity off the table without having to unstake your stockbroker, because the penalty for unstaking your stockbroker is if you unstake it, all the leveling up you've done is gone. You have to kind of start from scratch. So right down the line, I think the incentive or the smart thing to do is hold onto your stockbrokers. And then when interns are introduced, if you want to take some capital off the table, you can create those interns and then you can sell it into the market. And then people now could get a fractionalized exposure with those interns, right? So I think, I don't know what the timing is going to be, but I'd assume that Simple Farmer will launch that. He has a way of timing things perfectly, but we'll see what happens.
I hadn't even looked. I'd forgot about it. So I just went and checked, and I've got 40,000 Manser that I can claim because my Manser NFT is staked on the Anvil, and it's right now earning 2,000 Manser a day. It's 150% APR, and that 40,000 Manser that is claimable is I don't know, it's like 50 some bucks. But the protocol hasn't even launched yet. I mean, it's in a closed beta with a couple hundred people. I haven't, there's maybe one other NFT that's earned me $50 in the last month. It's earned me quite a bit more than 50 bucks, but I've got a lot of NFTs and none of them are earning me 50 bucks a month. It's not nothing, especially for a protocol that's not even launched yet. And I think what's the kind of the light bulb moment I've had this morning is, what if there is actually some of these? I'm not saying it's Manser, I'm not saying it's stockbrokers, but what if some of these there is an actual future airdrop? I could see the ones that are the ones who get those rewards very well could be those that are already plugged in and staked, whether it's Amble or elsewhere. Go ahead, Ken, get back in here, and then we'll go to Oxy.
Yeah. So again, there's no reason to do an airdrop, right? Because you already have alignment. You're staked in Anvil, right? You're collecting the emissions. At some point, Anvil basically turns on to everyone. Sorry, in Manser's case, right? Manser turns on, right? And opens up, goes through the audits, makes sure everything works perfectly, opens it up to the public, and all of a sudden the fees start flowing through. So by the time the emissions on the token side sort of start trailing off, the fees accelerate through, right? And that becomes the real income, right? Because that's fee being earned by the protocol, right? So again, if you're staked, you're earning fees, you're incentivized to market this thing, you're incentivized to onboard people. What's the reason to do an airdrop? To who? Now, you might make the argument, for example, that there's some sort of incentive, right? That in coordination with token holders, for example, who are earning these fees, right? I don't know if it's governance, I don't know if it's soft governance, but there'll be ways, for example, to coordinate around, right, doing things that incentivize everyone who's financially aligned. So, for example, I don't think it's beyond the pale to say that as the protocol is earning fees and throwing off cash, if there's some good reason to do some sort of onboarding process to get more people to use or to kind of spread the wealth, well, all the token holders can kind of coordinate around that and divert some of their fees to that. I mean, this is also not private news. It's in the Discord, and I think it's in the public. But for example, with stockbrokers, right, the emissions, and I think Simple Farmer still kind of controls a lot of those things, and he wants to decentralize it over time. But like some of the emissions coming that were being burned. So when you basically, every time you basically like, stake a stockbroker, snipe one that you want from Anvil, like you're basically burning the token and deflating it, right? To sort of do those actions. Now, Simple Farmer pretty much said that he wanted to divert some of those burns into a treasury to support market making on exchanges. So
yep, that's happening.
Right. So example, so an example of kind of like soft governance. Like most of the folks in the room and in the Discord who are holders and stakers are like, yeah, that's a good idea. Like, let's do it. Right. So we kind of get like a soft indication that the majority is kind of feeling this, and the guys that show up day to day, then okay, it's validated and you move on. So it feels to me that those are the kinds of approaches that, at least in the short term, wouldn't be too hard to take, because the vast majority of holders are still relatively manageable. It's not like, right, it's scores of people, it's not hundreds, right? So again, it just feels like that, for now, that's the approach that's going to be taken, and decisions are being made not just unilaterally, like Simple Farmer is at least kind of indicating what's coming and allowing some conversation to kind of validate it.
Yeah, you got me thinking that, yes, I agree with everything you said. And this next phase of airdrops from these protocols, there's a potential path where it's not the protocols deciding who gets the airdrops. It could be the validators. It could be the NFT stakers. It could be like, hey, we want to onboard some new users, but instead of us going out and picking and choosing people or launching a points program, we're going to give you, here's 1 million tokens. It's just you. I don't know how technically they would do it. Maybe it's like you can nominate a verified human being, and they can come claim something. Or I could just see a way where there's a way that's already happening. So,
the reason why a lot of the tokens from the launcher and from the anti-snipe tool, it goes to seed the LP on up. And Simple Farm said pretty much clearly that the reason why it did that was because we are more economically aligned with up. Like a lot of the, and I'm not sure what the structure was, but a large portion of the LP that feeds and is going to grow up is going to be sourced from stockbrokers. And because of that, what he negotiated was some sort of a rev share, fee share. If we're bringing all this liquidity to sort of essentially make your protocol grow, we want better pricing. We want to share. Like we want to be connected to the economics, and the details are there. And so what Simple Farmer is going to do, and what he said, is that as that thing starts chugging, a lot of those fees get redirected to stockbrokers, right? So if you can extrapolate out, I think there's a model that exists where new protocols that launch, that are doing something novel, would want to be economically aligned with stockbrokers, because, right, the liquidity is there, there's value there, and it signals that you're aligned, right, with the owners of, right, a lot of the infrastructure on the Robinhood chain, right? And so that becomes a public signal. Like, so if you think about it, like, let's kind of wind back a little bit. That signaling says, this is the whatever X of choice that the infrastructure owners on the protocol have declared to be aligned with. And that's a signal to you that if there's economic alignment, then the protocol and stockbrokers are going to do everything in their power to make sure that's the successful, right, next whatever, right? Because we are economically aligned, we've made that indication. And if you kind of also think through like everything that goes in the back of that, right? Simple Farmer, if you go through special projects, you have to be audited, right? That's why, for example, there's been some delays with Manter, right? The flow of opportunity mandated that the code had to be fully audited, right? Internally and externally, because if we're going to partner with you, that's what we want to see. And so those are the kind of things that make me bullish, because having come from DeFi and seen a lot of the problems that happened through and post DeFi summer, like you have to have audited code. You have to have, And in this day where like, you know, LLMs are basically breaking into all sorts of weak contracts, like you have to be like triple sure that these are like hardened and very secure protocols. And
For
so
sure.
that now tells you that, look, that the system of validating not just the functionality, but the rigor around actually the building has to be aligned. And that's a strong indicator to the market that that's probably likely going to be a winner relative to those who are working outside of those bounds.
Yeah, no, well said. I am, it's exciting. And we say, like, yes, the tech, everything we've talked about, but also like, it's just so much new stuff. It's just not tokenized stocks or new. It's just like the mechanics and evolution. People are growing up. People are doing things differently, and hopefully we get to a spot where it is best for the participants, the users, those who are, you know, using the protocols, not a $15 sandwich, but get actually back to like real rewards. Oxy, thank you very much for the ref link for GTE. I did get my GTE card. The wait list is open. I pinned my ref link up top. Thanks to Oxy dropping his in the chat. If you want to go get your GTE card. This was the one that, was it, I think Phonics just said, they initially launched on, was it originally a Mega ETH project? Do you know, Oxy?
It was, yeah, it was. And then, yeah, I stepped away from the ecosystem and wanted to do their own thing. So here they are.
So not going multi-chain, rather migrating from, or instead of launching on Mega ETH, they're launching on Robinhood chain?
Yeah, so I don't know entirely like what they're doing. At one point, I know people were talking about them building their own chain more or less. I might be mistaken, but I think it's the same kind of direction that Lighter went. Because I don't think Lighter's necessarily tied to a specific chain, is it? Or is it their own kind of tech?
I thought they had their own chain and then also going Robinhood. Great question. I don't know actually, but yeah, I think that was my recollection was, yeah, they launched their own L2, but then I don't know actually. Now they say that. Good question. I hadn't even thinking about like so caught up in NFT Mania is back, or rather season 3 is here. Hadn't even thinking about these airdrops, or maybe a little bit thinking about them, but now thinking like, ooh, what if we actually get an airdrop season where they're doing new and innovative stuff to get tokens in the hands of real supporters instead of farmers? I'm anti-farmers, and I know it's very hard from a protocol standpoint to eliminate farmers. They also want volume, they want the wallets, they want the data, but we all know how that ends. And I think I'm optimistic now that we might actually see some new mechanisms, some new tactics, etc. NATO is another one after Variational, backed by Kraken. NADO. Yeah, price prediction for DEX, perp DEX per point if we actually get a real bull. Thanks for sharing this. This came from Phonics. A few more to keep an eye on or go check out if you haven't yet already. This is Lewis.hl or Lewis Dives. Price prediction for perp DEX per point if we actually get a real bull market from now until the next few months. Variational 150 to 200, NATO $1.80 to $2. Obviously, this is all relative to how many points there are and the token FTD, market cap, etc. Trade hot stuff. Pacifica, Extended, Decibel, RiseX, Purple, Ondo Perps. You don't have to drill them all, but maybe you do go create an account at all of them. Maybe you do at least on, maybe you pick 2. I'd be picking probably Variational and NATO, not just because they're the first 2 listed, but they seem to have the most mind share, I guess. Agent, I think I saw your hand up, but I don't see it now. Go ahead and get in here if you'd like. And then we're going to do our coffee with Captain.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I was preparing some breakfast tonight, and I had a little cut. That's why I put my hand. But I'm all good now. I actually was going to. No, I think Oxy was asking the question. I mean, it would be fun to explore those. Like, I know it's still early, but as we've seen, like the stockbroker ecosystem like and everything that's come out from what Simple Farmer is building. I wouldn't be surprised if we see something similar with what Slotfather is doing. You know, I don't think it's just going to be what we expect. I'm guessing they might try, you know, bringing new tools to users. So exploring something like maybe it would be to a decision that is done more with the community, as we've heard Simple Farmer talking about, like the DAIO, you know, in the future, in that vision. Maybe Manser does do something where it attracts users by, instead of, because I think I've seen on the timeline Slotfather burning some tokens. So maybe instead of burning them, you know, it could be a type of reward system. I know, like, as you mentioned a minute ago, and I'm glad you brought that up, farming is a big issue. So maybe, you know, you have to hold a certain amount of tokens and stake them within the platform. I mean, I think there's other ways that, you know, you could test rewarding users so that way it does its own type of marketing, you know. But just, you know, the thought that could be explored.
Yeah, no, I am I had not been giving this much thought in my own head, but now I'm getting kind of excited for airdrop season 2 or season 3 or whatever airdrop season we are getting ready to enter in here. I'm not envying any of these teams that have to do an airdrop or have a TGE coming, because hard to make everyone happy, nearly impossible to make everyone happy. All that said, we got like 20 minutes, not even 20. I gotta get out of here before, because we got It's Called Football starting at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. We're gonna do a claw pull machine, chicken wizard. Is that right? Chicken wizard, chicken something. Chicken wizard, you still in the chat? Let me know, because we're gonna do this claw pull here in a second, and you just need to let me know if chicken wizard, you need to let me know if you want to swap for the swap fee or the swap offer, or if you want to vault the. Oh, you're coming up, cool. Congratulations on wait till it connects. Congratulations, Chicken Wizard, on being the Coffee with Captain participant today. We will. I'm going to do this claw pull here in a second, and then you can let me know if you want to swap or vault the card. Your chase items here. You've got a 2006 Black Star promo Rayquaza PSA 7 that fair market value is $1,177. There's a 1999 Fossil First Edition Gengar PSA 8, $1,100, and then a Call of the Legends Lugia, a PSA 6 that goes for $940. And looking at the recent poll, someone just pulled a $104 card, $50, $52, $39, $39, $42, $80, $126. So a few decent pulls there, like 2Xs. But scanning away, there's 112. Haven't seen a Grail pull for a while. That tells me, Chicken Wizard, this is going to be your lucky day. You ready to pull a Grail?
Let's do it.
Good luck. Good luck. Let me get the Pokemon music queued up here, and then we will do this claw pull. Pokemon. This is actually we can't waste a good opportunity to just show everyone producer Payne's fine work. So this is Coffee with Captain, brought to you by BZ.
Coffee with Captain. Give that claw a spin. Raw to grills from BC. Prizes within. Mystery and magic. Where to begin? Coffee with Captain. It's your time to win. Coffee with Captain.
Forgot about the loop. It is Chicken Wizard's time to win today. We're gonna pull one of these grails here in just a second. This is a $50 BZ Claw pull. You can find your you can create your account using that QR code in the top left portion of the screen. It'll take you right to the BZ account using our ref link. But this is Chicken Wizard's claw pull here. $50 claw machine. Gonna pull one of those $1,100 grail chase items. Good luck. Good luck. All right, $39.99. It's a Pokemon SV9JP Whale Lord, art rare, Gym Mint 10. It is a whale lord. Good little, cute little whale, cute big whale. Very fitting for this space. Peter and I just pulled a whale this morning on our entropy reveal. 2025 Japanese Battle Partners Whale Lord. It's a PSA 10. Swap offer is $39.95. Fair market value is $47. Oh, so now this is interesting. They changed their UI UX here. It used to show the fair market value and then what you could swap it for. You had to like hit the drawdown and see the fine print, but it's just now directly showing your swap offer net of fees. So $39.95, or do you want to vault this Japanese Battle Partner Whale Lord?
That's a tough choice. You know what? I'm gonna vault it. Why not?
Alrighty. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Shoot me either your BZ account profile, or if you don't have it set up yet, EBM wallet. If you don't have an account set up yet, it would be great if you use our QR code here on the screen. Or for those of you that aren't watching video, our ref, I think it's just Captain Zwingli. Let me check. Yes, Captain Zwingli. bz.com/r/Captain Zwingli for our official ref link. Yeah, shoot me your EVM address or your BZ account. I'll get that sent over to you. Maybe after the show. It'll definitely be today, but it might be after It's Called Football. But I'll get it over to you this morning. Just might be late morning.
Yeah, no worries. I'm actually going to set up the account right now with the QR code. So
awesome. Thank you, sir. Congrats again.
Afterwards.
Thank you. Big shout out to BZ for sponsoring Coffee with Captain. One of my favorite segments. We are due too, by the way. Maybe you know what? We've been saving our Grail pools for. We've been saving our Grail pools for a big $250 claw pool. So it's going to be whoever wins. Is that next Friday already at the end of the month? Jesus, where did August go? We might have one more Friday. Yeah, next Friday is the last Friday of the month. So we will be double dipping next Friday as long as BZ's cool with it. Next Friday, the 28th, we will be picking our August Coffee with Captain Community Murder of the Month. And because JP Vamos did not show themselves after winning July for winning the World Cup Bracket Challenge, we are due to pick a new winner for July. So again, don't hold me to this because I got to make sure BZ's cool with it. But we probably will be doing two $250 claw pool machines next Friday as we round out this month with a bang. Heading into the bull market, we're gonna pull a couple grails. But Chicken Wizard, thanks for the participation. Appreciate you the support of the show. Congrats on the claw pool, and we'll get you that Whale Lord here later this morning. All that being said, I got to get out of here. I got to get to It's Called Football at the bottom of the hour. If you're curious, if you're playing anything of any EPL this weekend, whether sports betting streets, prediction markets, fantasy football, tune in. We'll be breaking down, looking ahead to this the opening weekend in EPL. We also will fit in a little bit of NFL training camp news, preseason news for those of you getting ready for your NFL fantasy drafts. It's Called Football. If you're not familiar, half the show is American football, NFL, half the show is European or international football. And I'm pumped. I'm excited. I'm going to be, I told my girlfriend this morning, she was heading off to work, that EPL's kickoff today. So we're going to be watching some football/soccer this weekend. Also, Pingu's running. It's been a minute since my abstract wallet's been in four figures, and it just went over showing $1,002 this morning. So there's probably like 70% of that kit's not quite that much, but Hans has definitely done his part to boost my Pingu bags. My friend Hans over there, a big Pingu tipper. Those Pingu tips hit, I mean, every single day. But certainly when number goes up, it hits even harder in a good way. Akin, Agent, Oxy, Chicken Wizard, and everyone else who joined the stage today, appreciate you adding to the conversation. Fun Friday show. Any of you, any closing comments, any final thoughts, any parting words before we shut things down?
How about them Cowboys?
Weekend.
You say, how about them Cowboys? Was that it? Yeah. Well, good luck. I mean, hey, Cowboys are going to be a heck of a fun offense to watch this year if they stay healthy. Dak and crew, I think they're gonna hang some points. I don't know how the defense is going to be, but it should be some fun, especially if you're in the fantasy world like I am. That should be a fun team to follow.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think anyone who sort of wants more information on what's going on in the stock broker ecosystem, there are a few accounts that are building these open source data platforms kind of give you a sense of emissions, revenue, ROI. And I think one to follow, I think is a good follow, is Savvy Crypto. So the account is SAVICRYPTO. I think follow those accounts and start kind of building a book for those who are actually putting out information that's grounded by on-chain data. I think it'll help people kind of understand what the economics look like now and how they're trending over time.
Yep, good call. It's complex, it's new, it's different, and understanding the data, like the tools and resources used to trade in this cycle, very different than NFT season 2, and finding people that are not just coping or fudding or even bull posting nonsense, but ones that are actually putting out quality, quality platforms, quality data, whether it's a website form, a Substack, a threads on this app. But yeah, he's got Stockbrokers Tracker, Max Yield 272%, Mansers 120%, Yards 764%, Wall TBD. You can see some other metrics here. These are real numbers too, by the way. Granted, it's forward looking, so it's using the prior 7 days is where he's coming up with the yield. He's annualizing the last 7 days. So for instance, on a floor trader right now, annualized yield over the last 7 days is $30,000. Tier 1 is $38,000. I'm still kicking myself for not going partner on launch day. I thought it was expensive when I bought the tokens to activate my stock. I was like, man, I don't know about partner. That's a lot of, and it was like a few $100. Now it's like 20-30 grand. Jesus. Anyways, I'm not complaining. I'm not upset at all. Very grateful. But yeah, Savvy Crypto is a great one, putting out some good data. And leaving you with one more comment, because I find it almost as entertaining as anything. It's not just new mints. We had a mint that started 4 years ago that minted out last night. You heard that right. Not 4 months, not 4 weeks, 4 years ago, the mint started. And then for some reason, Jack Butcher bought 50 of them. And then a few people got 100 offers each accepted by, they each made 6.4 ETH. Project mints out, and it's ran up to like a 0.06 floor this morning. Only in crypto. So if you've got a project that's minting, and I know some people were feeling like, oh, we don't support the newer builders. Well, we are supporting the newer builders. Simple Farmer's one who has been building for years, and he's getting his time in the sun now because it's well deserved. But if you've been out there, you got a project that's minted and you just haven't gained traction yet, you've not minted out yet, take some inspiration from Dumb Wojapes. People learn it for the art. Huge on Twitter. This project started minting when it was so long ago. It was still called Twitter when this project started minting. So Twitter's been through a full rebrand, now known as X, the Everything app, and it mints out 4 years later. People giving Jack a hard time while you buying trash. Again, please don't chase this. It probably speed runs to 0. It's more entertaining and funny than anything, but noteworthy that a collection, maybe the slowest burn mint of all time. Apes was a slow burn, for those that don't know. It took like 10 days to mint out. But I don't think anything tops Dumb Wojapes. Yeah, it was a free mint, 20 per wallet. No smart followers, no check mark. Could be minted without using a bot. $4,000 profit per wallet. Unbelievable. 0.06 floor today. I got to get out of here. Thank you all for tuning in today. I hope you all have a dope weekend as well. Lawyer, GM, 8 weeks till Ape Fest. Looking forward to seeing Cool Chick, my friend Bob there. Bob and I go way back. I think I've doxed him before, so I'll dox him again. One of my former, not mine, but a former franchisee in the franchise brand that I led, met at his new franchisee training and onboarding. I'm afraid to say, like 8 years ago now. Is that right? 8 years ago? Seems like yesterday. Anyways, go way back with Bob. He said he's going to Ape Fest this year. Can't wait to see you there and hang. It's been a few years. And good luck on your draft tonight, ODX Lawyer. Tune into It's Called Football here in like 7 minutes. We'll get you all updated if you've not been paying attention throughout the offseason. Excited for that and excited for the weekend, excited for EPL. Don't miss Rec Traders minting at noon Eastern today. Even if you're not on the guaranteed list or the allow list, might be one that you keep eyes on the floor. If there's a dip, if you can get them up on secondary anywhere close to that mint price, might be one worth paying attention to. I'll just say that. Obviously, no financial advice. I don't know anything, but it's one that I am. I may go hard. I may look to have a full team of traders because I think it's a fun mechanic. I'm going to play the game. I'm not going to go hard to look to flip pre-reveal, but rather play the stock trader game with my smart NFTs. Until tomorrow, or until Monday, we'll see you at 8 a.m. Eastern time on Monday. For those that are into football, either version, join us here in 7 minutes. And for the rest of you, have a wonderful Friday. Enjoy your weekends. Stay safe out there. Have some fun, but maybe don't touch some grass this weekend. Or if you do, like do it in short spurts. Like go touch grass like 15 minutes, and then come back and stay locked into your war room, your devices. It's time for me to get more mobile trading. I've got a little dust in an OpenSea wallet. I can trade mobile, but I'm feeling FOMO that if I'm going to be away from the computer for an extended time, I need to be able to make moves. So get your wallets ready, get your tools ready, and buckle up. Have some fun out there. Congratulations to everyone who hit on anything in the last 24 hours. But if you missed or if you're sidelined, don't be down on yourself. Don't feel too bad. There's more coming. Have a good weekend. We'll see you all Monday. Thanks all.